Hello everybody, it's Steve here from The Fandom Show. It's the start of a new week, which must mean it's time for another episode of Mondays Suck. I did miss last week's episode because I spent most of that Monday preparing for a tropical storm / hurricane that we thought was coming through here, but that ended up actually hitting east of here and didn't affect us much at all. But since I was busy with that, I didn't get a chance to jump in and do this. But hey, I'm back. We're kickstarting it all over again, and it's going to be fun just as it was before. So today we're talking about Street Fighter the movie. This was from back in 1994, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme. Now, if you don't know who Van Damme is, he was a major martial arts action star throughout the 80s and early 90s. He is still around today. Not as prominent as he once was, but back then he was known for quite a few different projects and things that he did, in particular movies like Bloodsport, The Quest, and Universal Soldier. So of course this movie is based on the Street Fighter 2 video game, and if you know the video game, you know that it didn't really have a huge story, at least not at that time. In the years since, they've actually built on the backstory of the game quite a bit, and there's plenty there now. There have been like comic books and graphic novels and animated movies and the whole deal. But back then, there was really only a few video games to go off of, and so this was the movie we got. This was when video game movies were still very, very early on. There wasn't many of them, so this movie is remembered for being not very good, but it's actually one of those movies that's almost not very good, but it's so bad that it's actually kind of enjoyable. I would not go so far as to say that Street Fighter is one of the worst movies ever made, but it does have a reputation for being pretty bad. One bright spot is that Raul Julia was given much praise for his portrayal of M. Bison. This was actually one of his final movie roles before he died of cancer, but he did a very, very good job in this movie. So honestly, I would say check it out for that alone. It is totally worth it. The movie is cornball and cheesy as all get out. You are not going to get much redeeming out of this film. But if you've got 90 minutes to spare, it might be worth your time. It's cheesy, it's corny, it's screwball in that 90s way. It's not a great movie, but it's not terrible. I mean, you would have fun watching this movie. It's the kind of movie where you can watch it with people and mercilessly mock everything that's happening and have a good time. So on that level, I totally recommend it. Now, here's something funny. Did you know that they made a video game based on this movie? That's right. They made a video game of a movie that was based on a video game. That's like some serious Inception level stuff that was going on. Surprisingly, the video game was based on this movie. Used digitized graphics, so you could actually play as the Jean-Claude Van Damme version of Guile. It was not as good as the original Street Fighter games, of course, because those are some of the best fighting games of all time, so it was never going to be. But it's actually not terrible. There was a couple of home console ports that were respectable as well, so not the worst fighting game out there. Honestly, not the best, and by far from the best Street Fighter game, but it's really not awful as far as licensed product goes. Now, we never got a sequel or follow-up to this movie. There was no live-action Street Fighter movie for years after this, and this is just kind of an oddball piece of video game / movie history. So, not something that completely sucks, just something that most people either remember because it's that bad that it's good, or just because it really missed the mark in trying to bring Street Fighter 2 and make it into a live-action movie. Will we get another Street Fighter movie in the future? I don't know, probably. Will it be the same as this? Not a chance. It had the kind of, again, 90s goofiness and screwballness and macho-ness, whatever you want to call it, that would be very tough to effectively replicate today. So again, if you've got 90 minutes available, you might want to check this out. You'll have a fun time with it. Very few redeeming qualities, but it's enjoyable in the end. That's it for tonight. Thanks for watching, guys.